Okay, this is going to be chorus 3 for the B-flat blues and Wes. We left off after coming out of chorus of 2, sort of a little bluesy, and then the major 7. So flat 7 root, this is on the 2nd string, 6th position, and then stretch up, and then hit the B-flat here. So this is beat 1, of course, number 3. And we're going to just play that one note, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they've gone to the E-flat 9 chord or E-flat 7, the 4 chord here. And remember we talked about on the when you're playing B-flat major, you can play a major third or a minor third. You can play them both, right? Because blues did it. Or this is because it's in the chord tone. So major third and minor thirds both work great here. But when you go to the 4 chord, you really want to just use this note. Now you can use that D note in a passing tone, as we're going to see here in a few measures. Strong, weak, strong, but you won't be able to just target that note like you could on the B flat. Because when you go to E flat, and I think we also mentioned this in the last videos, that the upper structure of this E flat 9 would really be a B flat minor. And since the blues scale is a minor scale, that would be a great time to really just go straight on blues. You can always be straight on blues because blues always works, but it'd be even more appropriate here when you go to this chord, because you'll really want to hit the blues scale here, because this is more like a B flat man. It's almost like going from B flat major to B flat minor, and then back to B flat major, B flat minor, and then back to B flat major, and then maybe C minor, right? I'm doing the minor chords instead of the dominant chords. Instead of E not flat 9 and F9, I've got C minor and B flat minor. So this lick is going to start, even though this note's not in the blues scale or the minor pentatonic. Actually, it's a minor pentatonic here. He's going to skip the passing tone. He's going to start on the C note, 3rd finger, and go up to your pinky to get to that flat 3rd of the scale, and come down a minor pentatonic to the root, and then return to the, this time you're going to go back to the major 3rd, because the chord just went 1, 2, 3, 4, da 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 and da. So now we can go back to targeting that natural D note. So on the E flat, we're going to target this note, but on the B flat, we're going to target this note. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, right? And I'm going to do a little, it doesn't say so on the tab, but you probably, anytime you get the major 3rd, you want to either slide into it or hammer it on. That's the lick that he plays. I tend to do this as actually a Wes Montgomery or Charlie Christian lick. I start with my 1st finger on C and just do a little doyat there. Pick, and then pull off. So I'm going to pick, pull, slide. And then do the lick. I just like that articulation. He doesn't do that on the recording, but that's the way I do it. Sorry, flat 7. Now here's a really, really common lick, starting on beat, on the and of 2. And what I'm doing is I'm taking this B flat, and here's the root, here's the flatted 3rd, here's the major 3rd, and I'm going chromatically all the way into the 5th. So from the minor 3rd, and this is really common lick. And you should learn that lick all over the place. You can do it, oh sorry. There's a lot of different ways to finger that lick. This is not the lesson to work on that, but you should try that lick everywhere. So starting on the root, on the upbeat, and then get to the F note, which is the 5th of the chord, and come right down a B flat, little baby B flat bar chord. And here's a B flat bebop scale. So nice, we'll do it twice. Right, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And that leads you perfectly back to the 5th measure of this chorus. I'm not sure which measure this really is. I guess I can look. 29 is this measure. And this leads you to the 3rd here. So I'm going from this B flat arpeggio, then a chromatic into the major 7, from the major 7 to the flat 7, and then do that chromatic again because we're a little early, and then that resolves to the 3rd of E flat. And this is a real common Wes Montgomery, who got it from Charlie Christian, is when you get to this E flat 9, do something like this, a little E flat. It's really a G minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio, in case you want to be a nerd. I'm going to play the G, and then I'm going to look at even the upper structure of G minor 7 flat 5 would be a B flat minor. Like I said, on the E flat, you're going to target this B flat minor a lot. And then back to the E flat note. So upper structure arpeggio, then to the root of E flat, and I'm going to come down and do a half step here. And I'm going to end up with this chord, kind of like the E flat 9 sharp 11, where this note is down to here, a little tweaky note. So a sharp 11, that's a great little voicing. From the G note, and I'm gonna come down and get the C, and then I might hammer this on. I'm gonna stack my fingers. Now, sometimes I don't, I just do that. I would probably have done that for the majority of my life, but lately I've been stacking my fingers a little bit more. Slide the pinky there. So let me go back through that. From the G note. And I'm gonna go 1, 3, bar, 3 on the E flat root, and then come back down into 5th position, hammer or just pick, and I'm gonna stack these two, and then 2, 3, 1 on this dot right here, the 5th fret. And I'm gonna go up to the C, so it's sort of like an E flat 9, 13 with a sharp 11 in there too. He's getting all the juicy tensions. And I'm trying to make my way back to B flat. I'm gonna start below it and just target that above. Two steps above it, half step above it, half step below it. And I'm into my B flat note. So, see, I barred at that time, didn't I? I did that the majority of my life, so. 1. And I'm gonna come down to E flat minor. E flat minor 9, in case you wanna be a nerd. And resolve that to D, which is the B flat. Remember we talked about the E flat chord and then maybe going to E flat minor and then back to the 1 chord or maybe a 3, then moving on to the 6, 2, 5, 1, and then a quick turnaround and that's the chorus. So this is from measure 29, stack, down E flat minor 9, and then D, and I'm gonna do a little chromatic here. And that's, once again, from the chromatic from the 3rd. Now before we did the root and the minor 3rd, but this is just starting right on the 3rd, major 3rd. And that's the rhythm, 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then another just little chromatic here, which is almost like just a sort of a filler. And then here's the G7, which is gonna precede the C minor, the 2, 5, and then the turnaround somehow. So I'm gonna shift down into 3rd position and just do a little baby G bar chord. And then here's the 7th, G7, on the 6th fret with my pinky. And now we're going to C minor. So I'm gonna target the E flat note, because that's the minor 3rd, and then jump up to the minor 7th, the flat 7th. So I've got 2 chord tones right out the gate. And there's another kind of this minor 9 arpeggio. Here's the B flat, G, E flat pull off to the D note. That's what I mean by the 9. And then chromatic here from the root to the flat 7. So a lot of chord tones. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And now it's time to go to F7, right? But remember F7, I could, instead of doing F7, I could do the tritone substitute. So I could do B7, or even better, B9. And instead of doing that B9, I'm gonna turn this way. Instead of doing B9 for a whole measure, I could do F sharp minor 7, then B9. We talked about this in the first course, and then to B flat 9 with an open D string here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, F sharp minor, B9, B flat, 7 or 6 or major 7, wherever you're gonna go to. So from the C minor to F minor, and this is the flat 3rd of F. Now it's also the major 3rd of F, but this is the flat 3rd of F sharp, I meant to say just a second ago. So flat 3rd of F sharp, and then to the 7th. And I'm basically doing the same lick, this lick that I did here. Could also be, and it could also be here. Now this is the F sharp minor. So it's the same lick, just transposed. And then 4th fret, and then a double chromatic approach into the 3rd fret on the 4th string, which is the 5th of B flat. So altogether, this makes it a really kind of hip 2-5 lick, because it starts in C minor, but then it sort of goes out when you go to this B7 or tritone substitute 2-5, and then resolve to B flat. So chromatic. Right. So altogether, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have the very last second, the last measure of this course. He's going to play an F augmented. Really, it says F augmented 7th, but I'm going to play F augmented. You could also do it down here, outsides, insides at 1st fret, F for the root, or you can get it up here with your 3rd finger on F, the 8th fret. So it's 3, 2, and then 1, 1. Don't forget the extremities. That's an F augmented, which is a great chord in like a blues context. It's a 5 chord. Oh, darling. Right? They use that in the Beatles, Oh, Darling, in the key of A, but Stevie Ray Vaughan used this all the time. Things that I used to do, stuff like that. So this makes it great, even when you're playing just a normal rock and roll blues or a blues. Augmented chords make a great bluesy turnaround because they've got the blues note in there, right? And then it's going to lead into the D from the B flat. So there's some of these notes are the same. Like the F note would be the same when you go back to B flat. And some of these notes move half steps. So that's a really good voice leading. That's a cool thing to do. So here's my F from that augmented, and here's a little bluesy note on the F. It's an A flat, so technically that's sort of like F sharp 9 or flat 3rd there. But it's just from the blues scale, right? He's going to go... starting on the F note, or actually starting the A flat, I'm sorry. 1, I knew that wasn't sounding right. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and pinky 1, and just club this 1. So you just have to sort of, and then 2, 3, and then root here, and I'm just going to club this note, even though if you wanted to stack, be my guest. And that takes us through chorus 3. I'm going to go ahead and try to rush through all these choruses here, 4 and 5, or at least 4. And then we start on chorus 4, and once again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now there's an extra 2 beats of rest where the band goes to E flat and he goes 1, 2, starting on the C note. So that's just kind of a major scale in B flat major, right? From the C note. But then the D flat. Now, at this point, the band's gone back to B flat, but he's going to hammer that D flat because you can play this one B flat, you can play D flat or D natural. And so he's going to play that with a quarter note. And then he's going to go back to the C. So it's C, D flat, D flat, and then we're going to start from the C note. This is the beat 1. And I'm going to slide that 1, 3, slide 1, 3. Sometimes I slide here too. And he's going to put a little flat 9 on here. So from the C, 5, 7, 8, I'm shifted up to 6th position. And then we got 6, 8, 9, and then here's the root, 6, but a flat 9. Little dark sound here. And then that's going to resolve to the G right here. So it's 6, 7, 6, 9, 8. Right. This is another upper structure. This is the same thing we did here. And I'm going to slide up there. This is how I wouldn't normally do it here, but this is how I think he's doing it. So 3, 1. Now you could use 3 here and use 3 here and just not use your pinky very much at all. Or 3, 1, pinky on 9, and then all the way, this one goes to 13. And then resolve to 11. And then now he's going to go to that E flat minor, but this time it's going to be like E flat minor 9 up here. Carlos Santana. Little sprinkle on top. There's the 13th fret. That's the 9. And I'm going to hit this with a downstroke and then reverse rake. And that Cry Me a River lick, basically. Now you say you're sorry. I found my place on here. So you sort of slide into this. 1, 2. And then from this note. From the sliding, so I'll start again slower. 13, 11, 11, 11, slide to 10, and then 13 on this is on the 4th string, and then double chromatic into D note, which is the 3rd of B flat. That's where I want to land. And then I'm going to jump down. This is a little. We saw this on in chorus number 2, I think. on a different chord, but this is going to be on like sort of a B flat, and then jumping to the F note, and then G, and then A flat, which is also a flat 9 on the G. Very dark because it's about to lead to C minor, which is also dark. So a lot of times on these G7s, you're going to get flat 9 sounds rather than, you could put a natural 9, that note's in the scale, that's just going to sort of sound better. Those dark, diminished sounding dominant chords leading to a minor chord. So from here, and then from a B flat, coming down chromatic, and then the last note I slide into G here, because I'm going to go into a G7 lick. And I'm going to slide that note down to here. So here's just G7, 10th fret, 9th fret, 12th fret, 10th fret, and then it's a whole step slide down to E flat. And then I'm going to stay on this 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then there's a scale. Now there's the 3rd of F. He's just making these changes. So he's on the 3rd of C minor, back and forth. There's the 7th of C minor, and then to the 3rd of F. And here's an upper structure arpeggio. I'm going to do it this time with 2, because I'm going to come back and put 1 here. This is not how you have to do it. But that's, or you could come up and put that F there. That actually might be better. But I'm going to do it this way. 2, 2, 1. And then I'm going to, so now I'm on F, and I'm in 6th position. And this is one of the, what I call the bird melodics, Charlie Parker melodics. Or it's similar to that lesson that we had on. That's a different lesson though. So from the F into the major 7 into the root, and then the fa mi or the 4th degree to the 3rd degree, and then 5 root 5th string, by the way, but it's the 5th degree. I'm talking degrees here. So from the F, A on the 7th fret, 8, roll to 8 still with your 3rd finger, 2nd finger, jump down to F, and then play 2, 3 to resolve to B flat. And that's that chorus. So if we start here with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Oh, I did it that way, didn't I? I did it that way that time. That's how I do it. Sometimes I put the 2 notes. Sometimes I just go 1, 1 and slide that. Right. Last chorus. So we're in B flat. Now you can't have Wes without doing octaves. So he's going to switch to this octave idea real quick. Starting on the F note. Now for the octaves, you might want to use your thumb because that's how Wes did it. Or if you use your thumb, then you have to pick your pick back up. So a lot of times I just do it with my pick. But to really get that Wes sound, you want to do it with your thumb here. So it's going to be F. And now I tend to play octaves always like this, always like 1 and 4, even though obviously here you do 1 and 3, and then here, because of the tuning discrepancy on the top 2 strings, octaves get bigger. On the bottom 2 strings are this way. I tend to just play 1 and 4 every time, and that way I always know which finger to use if I'm switching strings. So I play 1 and 4 here, and these strings are kind of helping me block out, so I'm trying to keep them out of the way. So I'm on the F note, that's 8 and 10, and then to the root, which is 8 and 11, tuning discrepancy. This octave is a little bigger. And then that's a B flat. And I'm gonna judge the top note. If I give you a number, I would judge the top note for this. So this is at the 10th fret. Maybe, no, I'm gonna judge the bottom note. Right, I'll judge the bottom note because that's the first one I see. So this is 8, and then this is 8. And then slide down to 6. And then back to that 5th, which is 8. And then 6th fret here, which is the 4th degree, and then back to the 5th degree, which is F, which is 8, and then sort of slide into the 3rd of B flat, right, which is the 5th fret. So now at this point, he's going to do this little lick. Sorry. So this is like an A major 7. Well, A major 7 is the same as F sharp minor, or F sharp minor 9, really. So if we're in the blues, we're on B flat 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now what I can do here is F minor 7, right? But I could also go. right? So I could start on this. So almost like a F sharp minor 7, and then F minor 7, and then maybe E7 or even E minor 7, E flat minor 7, E minor 7, and then into E flat 7. And it's just kind of this constant structure that's going to resolve eventually to E flat. Except to here, I'm going to break that pattern. And so let me get the pattern for you first. Ninth position, second string, and one note per string. So 9, 9, 11, 12. Now slide down to and come up the same shape. 11, 10, 9, 9. Now slide down and do the same shape. 7, 7. But here I'm going to break. 7, 7. Third finger or pinky, either way, on the 9th fret, 6th fret, slide. And that'll be into the G note, which is my goal, to find the third of the 4 chord. So at the very last second, you break that pattern. It's really just more like E9 in here. So what he's doing is F sharp minor 7 to F minor 7 to E7 to E flat 7 or E flat 9. And here's that, just pure Charlie Christian, and Django and Wes as well. But I think everybody got it from Charlie Christian. So it's just E flat 9, but the top note has the 13 on it. And then here's the root of B flat. Almost like just a B flat major prettiness. And here's like a D minor, which is still B flat basically. So he's sort of playing a B flat major 7 here. And then here's the blues, but really this is starting to come into the G7. And we said that the G7's always going to get flat 9s on it. Not always, but usually. So now I do it kind of funny. I just do my G to A flat and slide that up, and then I jump up to B flat. So sorry, so that's not chromatic there. So G, it's chromatic on the 3rd string. So sliding into 9, jumping up to 11, still with the pinky, kind of a cruddy fingering. And then to the G and chromatic down here, to E flat, which is going to be the 3rd of C minor 7. And then from here, kind of similar to when we had that. See, I slid that again, didn't I? Sort of similar to here, but a little darker this time. But you only hit this E flat once. Oh, this is cool. So from E flat, let's do C minor. Get this birdie finger out of the way. Just a pure C minor triad. Now make C minor major 7 by lowering the pinky and replacing it with the 2nd finger, and that makes a minor major 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But it's still got a minor 3rd in there. And then take that note off and you'll be on a minor 7. And then go to minor 6 or F9. And this is called a cliché. Minor, minor major 7, minor 7, minor 6. As we've all done Stairway to Heaven. Stairway to Heaven's a different thing, but My Funny Valentine. Very, very common. This happens in all kinds of Beatles songs. A minor cliché. Minor, minor major 7, minor 7, 9. And what you can do is instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, F, 7, 2, 3, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, minor, because you still end on this F9. So a lot of times people put this in a 2-5 context, and this lick is very, very common. So from that came from where here? So that's 1. Then I slide into that D note, B natural, G, B flat. So from 1, 3, 1, slide, 4, 3. I'm gonna use pinky right here on G and then get to the B flat, G, A. So you see how did you hear that? But just a little more rhythmicized with it. So 1, 2, slide, F7, but this time instead of natural 9, I'm going to make it a flat 9. F7 flat 9. Flat 9, a little nastier. And then slide that into the D, into F, into 6th position. And then D, and this is just a like major pentatonic rockabilly lick. 7th fret, I'm in 6th position, 7th fret, 2nd finger, 6, 8, 6. And then he just sort of harmonizes it, kind of a bluesy notes, but kind of just wrong notes too. We're going to play these 2 notes, 8 and 9 right here. So this is just from a minor pentatonic scale, and if I just harmonize that with thirds, or 2 notes at a time, sometimes it's actually a 4th, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say thirds, but every other note harmonize this. So this is from the blues scale. Actually, I'm sorry, we start here on the 6th fret. So this is from the minor pentatonic, so I've got the 3rd and 2nd string at 6, and then I've got moving down. Sorry, this one wasn't, what was I doing? I was looking at the wrong thing. So this is from the minor pentatonic, and then this is the root and the flat 5th. So from the blues scale, because that's the pattern and that's the root. And then this is the from the minor pentatonic or the blues scale, 6th fret on the 4th and 3rd strings. And then this, well, this ain't no part of nothing. I think he's just doing this shape because he did it before. That's a B natural, that's a flat 9 and the perfect 5th. So this doesn't really fit over B flat at all, or F. Well, it fits over F. The tritone substitute kind of. But it's just kind of nastiness that he's going to resolve here. So we're going to go 6, 6, 8, 9. I'm moving down strings, same string, 6, 6, and then 8, 9. Little tritone there, and then 6, 6, and then resolve to the major 3rd, and you might even. So there's your major 3rd and your root, what I call a melodic power chord. So this is the last chorus, starts on beat 4 of the previous chorus. 1, 2, 3. And that concludes B flat blues for Wes.